Good evening. It's Dom again, and I thought we'd do another drive with Dom. This time we're going to do Heat 2 of the second week of qualifying on track 1. So we just did Heat 1, and in Heat 1 I placed P4 with a 46.771. In this particular heat here, I am starting up front. Just for fun. Dom Casola and his brother are behind me. Probably also Calvin, but I can definitely say that the two Casola brothers and me at least were up front initially. Anyway, this is a much more kind of crazy race and a little surprising one because me personally, I don't go as fast this race as I did last race, and I don't think I don't think I had a bad cart. The cart felt good, drove great, but some other people had the same experience where they did their fastest in Heat 1. Anyway, it's an interesting race, so why don't we give it a go? So let's hit play. So, with the guys that race with me, they know that if they are, on my ass and they bump me, that means I'll get out of the way. So if someone gives me a tippy tap, I know it's time to move over. So that's kind of like how we communicate. I think we're about to go green. Yeah, here we go. So the grip level was pretty good tonight. I don't know if you just saw that. Hang on, let's go back for a second. I was saying the grip level is pretty good tonight. Meanwhile, watch the cold tire push going around this part here. Here we go. Oof. Alrighty, so if I'm not mistaken, this would be lap 1. All right, so as far as I can tell, we are starting the we're crossing the start finish right here for the first time. So this begins lap 1. So technically right now lap 0. So let's begin lap 1. Oof, okay. Yeah, that was really wide. So me misjudging the tire. Whoops. Which makes me very narrow through there, but that's okay. You just get real vertical coming down. Took off a lot of speed there. Oof. Had to jog away from the wall. Okay, that was interesting. Check this out again. Okay, so we're now going into the fun, fast downhill bit. Have to dump a lot of speed right there. And here I almost hit the wall. Watch. Ooh. Yeah. But we're going for it nonetheless. We have to. All right, pretty good looking considering. All right, so that first lap would be 49.711 if we are correct, putting me in P9. Yeah, so I have the track to myself because the Casola brothers behind me told me that I just sort of was gapping slightly over time on them. So we just had nice, consistent, easy spacing. That looked like that was interesting. Yeah, right there. Correction, blah, blah, blah. Okay, that one was a mess. Okay. So if I'm reading this correctly, this would be lap 247.661, which puts me temporarily in P1. So I don't see any flags being waved at me. I haven't felt any tippy taps. So I'm just barreling ahead. And we haven't come upon anyone yet either, though. God, this is so much fun. Okay, little pushy moment there. Watch on exit. Right there. Okay, that would be lap 3, 47.617, putting me in P3. A little contact, but pushed me wide. So I have to go up. All right, so when you get pushed wide, you see how I missed my apex over here, pushes me out to the right over here, which means that I end up having to go kind of more vertical through here. Vertical, I mean well, I guess a more uppy arc, which has to, then come down quicker. Anyway, when you push wide, it forces your angle to change into a higher arc like this, which you're then diving down deeper. So I don't think it hurts you much, but it's not the ideal way. So down here now feels really much more to me about throttle control than braking. It's going from 100% to 90% to 85% to whatever, and just sort of driving with your right foot through here, I think is kind of important. Because, you are initially diving down to this ramp with all of your momentum being pulled down and to the left, which is towards the wall to our left. And then you do a rapid turn down into the ramp right itself to the apex of the turn. And you bring them back around and go for that bottom apex. And you're kind of swinging your butt around there. But anyway, how you deal with that transitional space there isn't binary. It can be done a lot of different ways. And I'm finding that, me, it used to be like about getting as fast as I could down to the bottom ramp and then dumping a little bit of speed right before I got to it. Whereas now I'm dumping speed further back, but dumping less speed and playing around with that, if that makes any sense. Because, you're flat in this corner, so off, but then I'm back in fully, effectively here. Okay, so you're flat here, 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 all the way through here. You're still flat, you're still flat, you're still flat, you're still flat, etc. So that's a really important one to get right. Okay, so that, if I'm not mistaken, is lap 4, 47.694. It's kind of nice having the front position like this. Doesn't happen often. Okay, that was a good one. Good one. Yep, works. Sure. So it's a bit of a mystery. Okay, let me pause there. So that would be lap 5, if I'm not mistaken, 47.233, putting me in P5. So it's a little bit of a mystery to me why I did so poorly in this round, because I felt like, well, poorly is the wrong word. I felt that the laps felt good enough that I was a little surprised that it was only P9. I felt like I drove the cart well. You just can't really tell the difference in the carts unless you've got something to compare yourself to. All right, so that would be lap 6, 47.373 P5. Yeah, so when you're running alone, you have no sense of, the relative speed. And since they have this canned engine sound, you don't get a whole lot of information about the health of the cart. Because they all sound the same. That being said, I really like the carts. I'm not bad-mouthing them. And I actually really like the fake engine noise, because once you do know how to read it, there is a lot of interesting info. But in any case, all right, so that would be lap 7, 47.438, dropping me down now to P6. Like, the grip level is really good. I'm not at all struggling to make those apexes. Okay. I mean, a little crazy, but that was flat out. That looked pretty good. So I think we were on lap 8 again, 47.348 P8. So same lap time. I do wish they'd give us another 10% more power. What makes this so much fun, so I don't know if you can see it there, but it's what makes this kind of karting interesting is the the way you're driving on these bank surfaces that are less grippy, etc. Anyway, it's very I don't know. It just feels good, and it's an interesting type of driving that's done mostly. It's right foot driving. It's all letting the butt of the cart move around while not drifting it. But in any case, really entertaining, really fun to learn way to drive too, because it's exactly the same as normal driving, but you're just not braking ever. But the normal rules apply. The idea is to get to throttle as early as you can. Okay, and that would be lap 9, which, if I'm not mistaken, is my fastest lap, 46.905 P8. So, on a happy note, we know that we broke 47, which is good, right? Because it seems these days 46 is, for example, everything was 46s today. So 46 was good. 47 was also very good. I don't think we saw any 45s, but that can happen. Anyway, like I said, it was just kind of odd because I think I drove well. The kart felt good, etc. It just probably wasn't that quick. I must have just had a better kart, and he won. Yeah, because, I'm definitely not being held up by traffic here, as you can see. I don't think I'm holding anyone else up. All right, so that would be lap 10, 47.263 P8. So I go back up into the low 47s. Yeah, another 10% grunt would be ideal. That was nice. That was such a fun turn. I'm being pretty touchy-feely through this. Hang on. So the way I'm taking this bottom turn here is interesting. I'm sort of cutting across like that. So it's a little sloppy, but I see what I'm trying to do. Not perfect, but good. It uses the width. All right, that would be lap 11, 47.425, P8. So slower still. I never can tell if I'm going up the ramp correctly. Just do what feels right. Okay, a little contact there pushes me wide. That's actually an interesting example, so let's go back. All right, so hang on. All right, yeah. Okay, I blow this first turn, which pushes me really wide. So I have to take an extremely vertical route. Boing. I mean, that time it worked. I think I did that section just fine. All right, so that would be lap 12, 47.392. Okay, P9. So it got a little bit quicker. And that's all she wrote. My battery died, apparently. So, lap 13, which is what we were on, was a 47.303. So, therefore, I finished in P9. So, my fastest lap ended up being lap 9, 46.905. So, slower than round one. And good only for P9 here. However, let's take a look. So Callan took P1 with a 46.32. Dennis Ray, P2 with a 46.409. Sasha Dasha went from a disappointing finish in his first race to a podium in his second race. So congrats to Sasha. 46.782 in P3. Then P4 is Nicholas Medway, 46.8. Jordan Chen, 46.8. Sorry, Nicholas Medway, 46.811. Then in P5, Jordan Chen, 46.832. Then Cruise Control at 46.856. Followed by Randall at 46.876. Followed by Christopher Casola at 46.877. And then yours truly, Dominique, in P9 with a 46.905. So that's a very tight spread between P4 and me. Like, unbelievably tight spread. That is so cool. So maybe I wasn't terribly slow. Maybe it was just the cart was average, and that's just all it was, because we were so tightly packed. The littlest thing was the difference between me being in P9 or I would say he's in P4. It's massively easy. All I had to do is have one turn better. In any case, that was a really unusual experience. Like, I got to run in front and just never got caught up to, and never caught up to anyone else. So a weird one and kind of a boring one to watch because there's no one to, talk to. But in any case, thanks for your patience. Hope you enjoyed it.